What's going on, guys? I wanted to say, if you're looking at getting a Leica, you could look at a lot of different offerings that Leica has had over the years, such as the M8, M9, M240, or M10, or even the newest kid on the block, the Leica M11. Or if you're feeling a little spicy, you can go out and buy the 2012 Leica ME. The Leica ME is essentially the Leica M9, and the uniqueness of this camera has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that it is a Leica, but more to do with the uniqueness of the sensor that is installed inside the camera. A decade ago, Leica introduced the Leica ME as a more affordable baby brother of the Leica M9. In 2012, a new Leica M9 would cost you roughly $7,500, but out of the goodness of the hearts of Leica, they created the ME for a mere $5,500. The Leica ME had the same 18 megapixel sensor as the M9. It also had the same brutally crummy LCD rear monitor and the same ISO range of 160 to 2500. The biggest difference is that the Leica ME came in a different color scheme of this like grayish blue and black color. When I first got my Leica itch, I did what every other normal potential Leica owner would do. And I went out to see if I could find or buy a used one, to only find that the used Leicas are still extremely expensive today. If you went on eBay today, you could find the Leica ME for around $2,000 to $2,500. And if you were to go to search for what was then considered to be the best camera of 2012, the Canon 5D Mark III, you can buy that on eBay from anywhere between $400 to $550. It's absolutely crazy to me that a camera that costs $5,000 can retain almost 50% of its value 10 years later. But this is where we find ourselves in 2022 when it comes to Leica cameras. Aesthetically, the Leica ME, even in 22, is a by far sexier camera than the Canon 5D Mark III ever was. The Leica ME looks just like the M9, but in a different color. In fact, the Leica ME looks almost like every other Leica camera besides a few buttons and the bad LCD screen. I think one of the main reasons why the Leica ME and the Leica M9 still sell well today is because it has a completely different sensor than just about any camera on the market today. Both of these cameras have a CCD sensor. The CCD sensor to many is and was a blessing and a curse. The CCD sensor in the Leica M9 and the ME was produced between 2009 to 2014. The CCD sensor gave a different look than most CMOS sensors that we're used to shooting with today. To a lot of photographers, the CCD sensor represented the look of slide film more than the CMOS sensor, but I definitely think that is up to the eye of the beholder. At the time the M9 and ME were released, photographers were really caught up in the silly thought process that more megapixels made a camera better. But today we all know different. Except camera manufacturers are still releasing cameras with enormous megapixel counts in order to get us to buy more camera gear. Hell, even Leica has recently released models like the M10R and the new M11 cameras that both have massive 60 plus megapixel sensors. I am personally in the mindset that more megapixels can help in only a minority of situations, and I would not get wrapped up in buying a new camera simply because it had a higher megapixel count. Now, the one reason why a lot of photographers still love that old CCD sensor that was in the crop sensor M8 and the full frame M9 and ME is because it was made by Kodak, and that the images gave off that classic Kodak chrome look that you so often got with Kodak Ektachrome film stocks. I personally love the Ektachrome, so of course I have a natural affinity to the CCD sensor on this camera. Now the bad part. The CCD sensor is that the ISO started to fall apart after ISO 800. By fall apart, it means that there was a lot of noise that you could see in your images after you would stretch it past 800. The other big, and I mean big issue with the CCD sensor was that Leica had a gnarly problem with corrosion. Leica at one point would replace the sensor for free, but after 2017 they began charging $1,000, and in 2019 they raised the price of replacement even more. The biggest issue with photographers charging photographers to replace a sensor is that it was never the photographer's fault that the sensor corroded. That solely belonged to Leica and the poor design in the sensor. However, if you can find a sensor that has been replaced, you will really enjoy the results, especially if you're coming from a camera that has a CMOS sensor like all modern day cameras today. I loved my time with the Leica ME, and I still think people should take a look at it if they are looking for a camera that will produce a slightly different result than what they're used to working with. But that also comes with a steep price, and ultimately that will be what you will have to think hard about when thinking about this camera. If you are new to my channel, I just want to say, hey, thank you for watching this far. And if you wouldn't mind, smash that subscribe button. And if you haven't smashed it, go ahead and smash it now, or share this video with a friend who may be thinking about this particular camera. I love Leica cameras, and I've had a lot of them over the years, and I will continue to share my experiences that I've had with them, images that I shoot with them, and I will continue to come back to these type of reviews to help you make a better decision in your Leica buying future. Because obviously if you're watching this, you're thinking about buying a Leica. So thank you so much for watching. I want to just wish you to do one or two things. I always like to end every video with the same thought. There's no camera that you can watch on YouTube that will make you a better photographer. There are only two things that will make you a better photographer: going out and photographing and working on what you see. I don't want you to get wrapped up in watching reviews on YouTube thinking that this camera is going to create something different than what you are capable of going out and creating. So just continue to create, continue to go out and photograph things, and continue to work in your craft over worrying about gear. That's all I got for you guys today. I just wish you guys would do good recklessly. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.